What's up guys, my name is Axmist, and in this video I will show you how to script basic door systems like this one, so you can open it and close it. And yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. So we're gonna start off by opening up our game and then adding a folder to workspace, and we're gonna name it doors, and then we're gonna add a part to that folder. That's really important that the part is inside the folder. And then we can size it to something like that. Make sure it's anchored to prevent any bugs. And you're gonna add a bold value to the door. It's just gonna be called bold value, as you can see right there. And then you're gonna rename that bold value to open. Once we're done with that, we're gonna add a billboard GUI to start the GUI, and add a frame and add a text label. You can just set the adornee to the billboard GUI, just so you can see a preview. Then want to set the light influence to 0. I would recommend having this size because that's just a reasonable size. You're gonna see later. And then you want to set the size of this thing to just scale 1 and 1. And then you want to do the same thing with the text label. So scale 1 and 1. Then you can actually we can set the transparency here so you can see our GUI. Then I'm just gonna set the border size pixel to 0, and then what you want to put here is the key that you're gonna use. And then if you set it to something else than E, you will have to change the key code later onto in the script, but just leave it at E for now. And then yeah, I think that looks good, and I'm gonna scale the text. So there we go, we're done with the GUI. And then we just want to set enable to false, and then insert a local script into the billboard GUI, and we can name it locate script, but actually like door script, because this is the main script. So, and then you want to make a bunch of variables. I'm just gonna make a fast forward real quick because it's a lot of variables, and then you can just copy. I'm probably gonna leave this script in the description or in the comment section, so you can just copy it from there if you want to. And then you're done with all of the variables. As you can see here, we have made some pretty simple variables. We made a variable for the character and the player, and some services. And yeah, then we wanna type like so: run service dot heartbeat connect function. So whenever the server loads, like for each server load, I don't really know how to explain it, this event is gonna fire. And then actually there's one more variable, just like that. And then you want to set door is equal to nil, and then make a loop that's gonna loop through everything inside of doors. So doors get children. Now as you can see here, we have set doors to game the workspace.doors, so this folder right there. So then we're gonna check if v is a base part, just to prevent any bugs. We want whatever we're looping for to be a part, because if it's not a part, then it can't be a door. And then if humanoid root part dot position minus v dot position dot magnitude magnitude like so is bigger or smaller than distance. Now we don't have a variable for distance, so I'm just gonna make that real quick. Local distance is equal to, let's say 10. That's just gonna be the max distance, and you'll see in a bit. Door is equal to v, and distance is equal to whatever this magnitude was. So now it's gonna find the closest door. So if another door is closer than another, then the magnitude is gonna be smaller, and then the distance gonna be smaller, and yeah, you get what we're doing. And then if door, then billboard GUI.enable is equal to true, and billboard GUI.adorn is equal to door. Else if the door wasn't found, so if it wasn't close enough to a door or 10 studs, then the billboard GUI.enable is equal to false. And then we want to make the user input like check when the player presses E. So user input service that input began, connect function, input, so that's just the input. If input the key code is equal to enum the key code the E, and door, so if the door is actually set, then the statement is gonna pass, and we're just gonna check if door find first child open, the value is equal to false. Now it's really important that the door or every part inside of doors, it doesn't have to be named door or anything, that can just be named part, the things inside. It's really important that they have this bold value named open, and that the value is set to false. So, and then we're gonna do, actually we're gonna make a variable for an event that we can actually create. So remote event door open event, so make a remote event inside replicated storage. Then we're just gonna make a variable for that. So local door open event is equal to replicated storage to door open event. We don't have to use find for child because replicated storage don't have to load. And then door open event fire server door, and then true. That if you send the fire event with this set to, this value right here to true or false, it's gonna change the door from opening or closing. So we're just gonna send some additional data with the event here, and then if the and we're gonna set door if the value was equal to true. So if it wasn't equal to false, then we have here else door open event fire server and false, so the door is gonna close. And then we're actually done with this code. So that's the entire first code, and then we're gonna we can actually kind of test it, except the door won't open, but we can test the UI part just to make sure I haven't done any errors in the code. Yeah, it works, but sorry, you're supposed to check this value right here. I forgot that. Always on top. Yeah, I forgot. My bad. Sorry. Now the GUI will be visible. Yeah, perfect. Now it works. So as you can see, we can only see it if we're close enough. And yeah, and as you can see, if we would to duplicate some of these doors and place them like so, and you're gonna see that the GUI is gonna be on the door that's closest to you. Now if I press E, nothing happens because we haven't scripted that part yet. I've only scripted the part where we fire the event to open the door. So we're gonna make a script inside service script service and call it, I don't know, I usually call it just the event name and then script if it has to do with the event. So then we're just gonna make some variables, not that many variables here. We're just gonna get the replicated storage, local door event local to replica storage door open event, and we want to get the twin service. You got the game, get service, twin service, just like so. And then we're just gonna make some twin info, a variable for the twin info, so we don't have to type that over and over again. As you can see, here is the parameters for twin info: number, time, easing style, easing direction. I can go over what they all do in another video, or else you can just Google it, but I'm not gonna do that right now. So I'm just gonna set some basic styles for this, for these settings. So enum the easing style equal to quad. We can do linear, but that just makes a cool kind of slide door open effect. Then enum the easing direction is in. It's kind of complicated, or maybe, I don't know, but yeah, you can search it up if you want to, what it does. It's not that important. Then we're gonna make a debounce for each door, so we're gonna make another variable. Local debounce is equal to open bracket, close bracket. So that's just an empty table. We're gonna work with that in just a bit. I'm gonna do door open event on server event, connect function, player dot door dot value. And as you can see here, if we go back to where we fired the event, we include all of these parameters. The player is always the first default thing right there. And then we're just gonna check if not debounce door, then debounce door is equal to 0. Now what it does is really simple, really. It checks if debounce door, you see that as a key, like it's debounce and then the door object. So if debounce door object is not equal to anything, slash if it doesn't find the door in the table, then it's gonna set to debounce find door in the table to 0. Then if take minus door, and I've gone over taken another in previous videos, if take minus debounce is bigger or equal to 1, then debounce, oh wait, no, not debounce, debounce door is equal to tick. And then here's where we're gonna make the twins, but before we do that, we're just gonna check which one of the y and x axis has the biggest value to determine what way the door is gonna, or how many studs the door is gonna move, because we want to move exactly how many studs the door is wide. So we're just gonna make a quick variable to check that. So local highest value, highest size, actually highest size, you can name it whatever you want. If door dot size dot x is bigger than door dot size dot c, then highest size is equal to door dot size dot x. If it's not and door dot c was higher, then we're gonna do the same thing, but you set the highest size to c. And then we're gonna make the tween. So local tween is equal to tween service create. I'm gonna create the tween with the door. The tween's gonna affect the door, and we're just gonna set the info to there, like so. And then here's the kind of most advanced part of the entire script. We're gonna set the door position. So here we're gonna put position is equal to door dot position Actually, we're gonna check if the value. So, like I mentioned earlier, if this value is equal to true, it's gonna open. If it's equal to false, the door is gonna close. So we're gonna check if value, since we have that included there. Then the twin is gonna open. So position is equal to door.position plus, because now the door is gonna open. Door.cframe times cframe.new 0. Actually, no, cframe dot angles 0 math dot rad 90 and 0 dot look vector times highest value or highest size. Now this is gonna look really confusing, but basically what we're doing is we're getting the front surface of the C-frame of the part, so it would be pointing in this direction, I believe, but we want it to slide to the side, so I want to slide that way and not that way. So what I'm doing is I'm basically multiplying the part C-frame with an angle which is 90, so this look vector would be in this direction always, in no matter what kind of angle we have here, like 130, so it will work in all scenarios. So yeah, we're basically rotating the C-frame and then getting the look vector of that, rotating the C-frame that we're gonna use. Don't worry if you don't really understand that, because it's really advanced. I'm gonna make a advanced scripting series too, but yeah, for now just follow along. And then we're gonna make the exact same twin, but if the value is equal to false. So there's really only one thing we're gonna change here, and that is instead of having it times highest size, we're gonna have it times negative highest size. So now if we actually I don't have to save it because this is for a tutorial. As you can see, if we press E, it should open. And oh wait, we have an error. I forgot to actually set the door value, since it fires the event to true if the door value is equal to false. So if the door is open, then door find first child door, open, so the value that we have inside the door, the value is equal to true. So since we're opening the door here, we want the open value to be equal to false. We want to do the same thing here, but set it to false, or set it to true right there and set it to false here, because in this twin we're actually closing the door. So if we hit play, we can test it out, and as you can see, it works just fine. You can just duplicate the doors from this folder, and as you can see, you can spam click them because we have a debounce. I can duplicate these doors, move them over here, rotate them, duplicate these ones, rotate them, move them over there, and set different colors, different sizes for them. It's still gonna work. Actually, that door is gonna look very weird because I extended it on the wrong axis, but yeah, as you can see, it works. If you have a door like this one and it has this axis is higher, even though it's gonna move like this, it's gonna move by a whole lot, because it's just taking the biggest axis and moving it by how many studs that size axis is. So But if you just follow along with, a normal kind of looking door like this one, you should be just fine. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this tutorial was useful, you find it useful. If you have any suggestions for video ideas or any problems with the code, then feel free to leave a comment, and I'll probably read it. And yeah, I see you in the next one. Peace.